Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another PTR patch notes preview from the May 12th. We've been looking at this for a while, the season was extended and now it looks like indeed it is finally time, just one day late for my birthday. How considerate. We got PTR notes with big changes coming up. We've seen some leaks and some teasers on the HOTS subreddit talking about loan talents. We'll find out all about those and other things with many reworks coming up, and a change up, small change up in the ranked ladder pool, the ranked map pool. So without further ado, let's go through it for the first time for me, our blind reading of this, and we'll find out whether we give this a 10 out of 10, great changes, 6 out of 10, or a thumb down. We'll see. Let's go through the changes and see what everything is. So, Heroes Rework, Anduin. His basic attack speed has been increased by 20%. Flash heal cooldown increased from 4 to 5, which before you could do this with a talent. Divine Star cooldown increased from 9 to 10. And Leap of Faith, the trait, now has a new passive functionality, Pursued by Grace. Basic attacks against heroes heal the lowest health ally near Anduin for 44. So what we can see is that the baseline level 1 talents have been incorporated. Bold Strategy was such a popular pick that they've decided to completely embed it in his base kit. Bold Strategy is both of these together, which is... Oh no, not this one. No, it's a level 1 and a 4, right? No, it's a... Wait, where's the... When you auto-attack someone, they heal? Dealing a damage... Oh yeah, this one. Pursued by Grace has been added, therefore. And the attack speed has been added from Inner Fire. Oh. And basic attacks, yeah. So they added the basic attacks Pursued by Grace, the level 1 talent, and the Inner Fire. Okay, so those two things were added. And the attack speed. Hey, didn't this used to... Oh yeah, they... Look. Bold Strategy, Flash Heal cooldown increased. Okay, they added half of this is what I'm saying. Half of this. Because they added only this one. Before you could bring your Flash Heal from 4 to 5 seconds on Anduin release with Bold Strategy. Then they nerfed it to 4 to 6 seconds. Now it's 5 seconds baseline again. Got it. Alright. That's clear. Now, talents. Level 1, Even-Handed Blessings has been moved down from level 16. The healing bonus is reduced from 20 to 10%. And it's relevant what it was. When you cast heal on a different target, greater amount of healing by 20%. And a refund 50% of its cooldown. So now it's going to be only 10%. And the cooldown reduction is 40%. Okay. Level 1 Q. How good is that? If I heal 2 different targets, 10% bonus heal, which let's call it nearly negligible. But we get a cooldown reduction of 40%. It's 5 seconds, so it's going to be 3 seconds. That's quite good. That is really quite good. Of course, Q does have a wind-up, but that's big. That's a good talent. And I don't see any baseline nerfs. Not much, anyway. Yeah, okay. 2 small baseline nerfs, but then attack speed increase, and they add this. Overall, this is quite a buff for Anduin so far. For a hero that I would say is fairly average. He's good, he has a niche. He's fun, he has a few different talents. I wouldn't say he was in most need of a rework or anything, or that he was particularly weak, but he was not as strong as Brightwing or Stukov either. Let's go on. Power Word Shield. Moved from 7 to 1. While traveling outwards, allies in the path of Divine Star also are granted the shield, absorbing 128 over 4 seconds. Allies in the path of Divine Star. So we can see that that is less than it currently is. It's 185. If you hit an enemy hero for yourself. What isn't clear to me... Yeah, it says additional functionality. Okay, so allies gain a little bit less shield than Anduin. He gets 185. They gain 128 while traveling outwards. So they get the shield on the outward trajectory. Then if you hit an enemy, you get shield yourself. Alright. That is quite a good talent too. Quite strong. Lightwell. Now at level 1. Healing amount reduced from 75 to 50. And you get 15 charges instead of 10. It's quite good too. Really strong. Moral Compass. No longer has a maximum number of targets for the basic apex attacks. This used to be 2. It used to do 70% of a basic attack damage. Now it's 100. And it increases your basic attack range, which was part of the Inner Fire level 4 that has been added. Right here. So Inner Fire has been split into the baseline and into Moral Compass. That is pretty sick. New, Surge of Light. Basic attacks reduce the cooldown of Chastis by 3/4 of a second. Basic attacks against heroes rooted by Chastis launch an additional basic attack. Interesting. That is interesting. Holy Root was taking it from a baseline 1/4 second to 1.5. And when you hit an enemy with Chastis, he did 1 next basic attack damage that deals 75% more damage and heals nearby allied heroes for 100. Now you do 2 auto attacks for every 1 during the Chastis. Let's say you can get 1 or 2 auto attacks in during Chastis. So that's an auto attack dealing 200% or 2 autos dealing 200%. So that's quite nice. You get 1 or 2 bonus auto attacks worth of damage and you reduce the cooldown of Chastis. Or Chastise? Chastise? Is that how you pronounce it? Like you just went after someone's eyes. Chastise. Chastise. Sounds like a rapper. Or a bodybuilder. Yo, what up? I'm Chastise. New Surge of Light. Piercing Light. Chastis pierces to hit... Sorry. Chastise. Chastise. Chastise pierces... He forgot already. He forgot already. Chastise pierces to hit an additional target. Cool. Cool. Pepega. Quest. Hitting 2 heroes with a single Chastise. I feel like an imposter saying Chastise though. It's so weird. Hitting 2 heroes with a single Chastise permanently increases spell power by 1. Up to a maximum of 10. Well, is there any way we can't? Like, is there any way we don't take that? 1 spell power is sick though. So sick. So, okay, what is it about? Basic attack, CDR, Chastise. And the 1 or 2 bonus auto attack damage. Moral Compass that increases your basic attack range. And launches between 1 to 8 auto attacks on the enemy team at the summit. At the apex of your Moral Compass. If they have Rexar, Vikings, Samuro, Abathur that copied Samuro, you could launch like 13 basic attacks or something. There's no limit. There is no limit. So Moral Compass can launch like a bajillion auto attacks. It's a pretty tough choice, but I think this is not the best, sadly. 2 piercing, 2 roots, that's gonna happen from time to time for sure. But this is not that good. This seems good. The range. Yeah. That range is super important because you now always are pursuing by grace. So I would definitely take that auto attack range. And this? More risky autos because you don't have the range. And a bit of bonus damage to root targets. Nah. It's Moral Compass for me. I have no idea what spell power does in this game. It percentually increases the healing, damage and shielding that you do when those are not percentage based. So 10% spell power. If I drop a healing potion with Deckard with 10% spell power, normally it heals for 300, now it will heal for 330. Desperate Prayer, moved from level 20. Cooldown increased from 30 to 40, heal amount reduced. This is quite a strong talent actually, at level 20 as well. How it used to be anyway. And the functionality is the same, and I can explain it. You instantly front load heal someone with that, and you then have a lone on your cooldown. You stand there kneeling for another 2 seconds. I never tested this because it looked bad. It said like kneel for 2 seconds, but it's front loaded healing. That's pretty sick. Lone Duin. This is a very high heal because by level 7, well, let's say by level 10, everything is 50% more. The values you see here, 50% more. So this is going to be 540 healing at level 10. At level 20, it's going to be 720. 540 by level 10, not bad. On a 40-second cooldown. Push forward. New functionality. Damaging an enemy hero increases your movement speed by 2.5%. And the amount healed by Pursuit of Grace by 5% for 6 seconds. Stacks up to 8 times. So you can have 40% bonus auto attack heals on allies. And you can have up to 20% movement speed damaging an enemy hero. So either auto attacks or your Moral Compass. So that's quite good. I mean, Desperate Prayer is good for out of combat healing too. It's 0 mana healing, out of combat, big, without risk. Just like White Mane, pressing 1 on an ally is out of combat, free mana healing. Level 16, Renew. Moved from level 1. New functionality. Flash heal, heals for an additional 130 over 5 seconds. The duration of this heal is refreshed each time Anduin hits an enemy hero with a basic attack. By this time, this is going to be around 250, 230 over 5 seconds. So that's, let's say, 40 HP per second. Yeah, 40 plus. Let's say 45 healing per second. So when you flash heal someone, they're going to get 45 heal per second. As long as you keep autoing, that's going to keep going. Otherwise, it stops at after 5 seconds. And you can have several of these running, of course, because you can heal every 3 seconds if you keep healing someone else. Remember? So you heal someone, you heal a next person, then you get an auto attack in. Both refresh are now on a 5-second timer. You heal a third person. Question is, does that third person need it right now? Maybe yes, maybe no. Depends on the game, right? Then you have to auto attack someone again just once. Can also be an auto attack via Moral Compass because it launches an auto attack. I think it's pretty good sustain. It's not very bursty. Holy Nova, damage increased. That's like where you throw a W and when it returns and you catch it, it explodes. Not sure how good that is. After Anduin catches Divine Star, it explodes, healing allies for 105 and damaging enemies for 105. That's how it reads right now. It's going to be 135 damage, but not the healing. Doesn't seem that good to me. Glyph of Faith is now a 16 talent where you can use your trait twice. That's pretty crazy. He seems so strong now, actually. Anduin. I think too strong. I don't think there's anything wrong with Anduin now. And I can't imagine that I misestimate reading this to such a degree that once we're playing him, he actually feels weak. Surprisingly, we thought he was good, it looked good, we got carried away on hype. He's actually weak. No, I think I'm reading it and I think he's going to be top pick with this. I don't see any major weaknesses. He's not particularly diveable. He can root, he can movement speed away. He can stay at a safe distance. If he gets all in by a few, he can light bomb. He can save anyone else with Glyph of Faith. 2 people at 16. He's the only hero with... He's one of 2 heroes with a level 1 cleanse. But he can do so more often than Brightwing. He now has good AoE heals. He's got a burst heal at 7. I think he's a little overdone. He's probably tier S, but it'll be fun to have a different tier S healer as well. I think change for the sake of change is good too. The target of Light Bomb gains 40% movement speed and 50 armor for 3 seconds. What? Wait, what does it do right now? Oh wait, it doesn't exist. There is no upgrade for Light Bomb right now. Desperate Prayer, Variant Legacy, Glyph of Faith, Lights of Stormwind. Oh, it's gonna help them get in position. And they get a shield and armor? So that shield is worth even more, let alone the rest of their HP. This is a very strong upgrade to a heroic. Crazy. New Censure? Censure? Not sure how to pronounce. Censure. Chastise. Stuns for 3/4. Stuns for 3/4 of a second. And its root duration is increased. Ah, they gave it the Malfurion Emerald Dream treatment. Add all the CCs. Chastise. Stuns for 3/4 second. And its root duration is also increased by half a second. Interesting. No sleep though. Or silence. He has a wealth of effective talents, but most of them are stuck in the later tiers. We'd like to shake it up and let him have some fun earlier in the game. And keep in mind, he's not OP, he's just fun now. Alright, cool. Interesting. Let's go to the next. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10 for attractiveness. Attractive to go play him. I'm happy they changed him. I think they added some good quality of life in embedding a few things that he was always taking anyway, like this. But I think it's a little overdone on the power level. Probably, yeah, I could see Anduin being a solid 58% win rate on average with this. I think that's probably true. Yeah, let's go to the next. Heroes Rework, Johanna. Reinforce has been removed. Zealous Glare moved from 7. This was the blind that you can refresh with auto attacks. It has a completely new functionality now. No more auto attack blind resets, just a second charge of shield glare. Exactly, Stereo Mana X. 2 blinds. I guess they figured Mei's got all that jazz. Johanna needs a bit more fun earlier in the game too. Laws of Hope. New functionality. Activate to heal 20% of your maximum health over 5 seconds. quest, every 10 regen globes collected, increase the heal amount by 5% of your maximum health. What? So if you find a very reasonable amount of 45 globes, you get 42.5% of your max health. That's quite late game. $45 globes is a lot. Average, I would say, is more like 28 in an average game, just before Anubara gets his quest. There's plenty of long games, but there's also short games. Let's say 28 is average. Then she gets 34% of her max health over 5 seconds at the end of the game. That's quite good. I personally don't like this talent at all. I hate it. Because tanks should not have quests that force them to continually lane and lane and lane and lane, because it's teaching people the wrong way to play the game as tank. Who, if not the tank, will stand in a bush to scout ward for ganks and to trap people and so on and so forth, and continually clearing waves is the exact wrong way to play as a tank. Now, Johanna is a bit more of an offlaner than many other tanks, potentially. Like, I could see me going Falling Sword Johanna offlane and play like Azul or Leoric. Not the worst, to be honest, but I don't think it's good functionality for tank play. Just like I don't like healers that waste roots on stacking treants instead of saving root for the tank engage. So I don't love it, but I know some people will love it because it's fun to quest. New Divine Fortress, and here we see the new lone talents that were talked about. Lone, instantly gain 20% maximum health. Every death reduces this bonus by 5%. Basic attacks against enemies grant 8 physical armor for 2.5 seconds, stacking up to 40. So they toned this down a bit. Before, when they talked about it on Reddit, they said 4 attacks, 15 armor each, 3 seconds for a max of 60. This is now significantly weaker than Reinforce, which gave 60 armor for 2.5 seconds after an ability usage. Not only do you need to do 5 auto attacks to get it, it also lasts for the same duration as this was, which means once you have the 2.5 seconds, that's when you have max armor. So it takes you a while to get here. 5 auto attacks takes quite a while. And then, only then do you have the full duration of the max armor, which is also less than Reinforce. So in that sense, it now is far weaker than this was. But that's also because this is the secondary component. This is the primary component of the talent. 20% max health, very respectable. That's quite strong. And if you die once, it's 15, then 10, 5, 0, and it never comes back. But you keep this. So you'll be stuck with a much, much weaker version of Reinforce if you end up picking this talent. And this is called the Lone Talent, and they're planning to do more of them. This is not permanent, Argenti. You, as a tank, you cannot go in and do 20 auto attacks over 20 seconds, 30 seconds. It doesn't happen. Of course, you don't have to hit the Zul'jin to get it. You can hit the enemy Diablo, but still, you're not going to get more than 5 auto attacks, usually. And that's the exact amount you need to get max stacks. More often, you get less. You go in with a Condemn, you do 1 auto attack, maybe. You punish someone, you auto attack. Now you're dropping low. You're going back. You have 16 physical armor. It's just a little bit of an extra bonus. And she has a very low attack speed. I don't think it's very good. So 1, 2, 3. This part is okay. It depends if you're an inter or not. You just have to be honest with yourself. Okay, before you pick Divine Fortress, I invite everyone to do the following. Go to your profile, press statistics. No, go to roster, find Johanna. Okay, where's Johanna? Jo. You click her, and if the KDA is 5 or more, you go for Divine Fortress. But if the KDA is 4 or less, you don't. So I'm okay to do it. It's fine for me. Make sure you sort by Storm League. If you're an ARAM player, go ahead and sort by ARAM, right? It's a good talent for me. I'm not an Inter. But, what, 3 matches? No, it's more. I have 6 games. Oh, you are 6 in 3 matches. Now, let's say if I was looking at another tank. Let's say if I was looking at Sonya. Sonya had the same thing. It's like, oh, don't take it on Sonya. Or perhaps it's just the fact that I played more games and Johanna was mostly when I was still platinum on this account. Anyway, this is not about me. Right? This is about you. Huge sample size smiley face. What does this ratio mean? It means if you're 6, it means for every 6 kills you got, you died once. Alright, moving on. Subdue, move from level 7. It's the quest where you need to hit 4 people. Or the functionality where you hit 2. 80% slow. Eternal Retaliation, W. New functionality. Hitting enemies with Condemn marks them. Oh, they added the shins exposed to it. Marks them for 10 seconds. Johanna's next basic attack removes that mark. Oh no. Lowering the cooldown of Condemn by 1 second, refunding 10 mana and killing minions. No. So she can one-shot minions that she condemned. And she gets 10 mana and 1 second off her W. Imagine being Johanna. You've got like this whole campaign mission of who you should auto-attack. It's like you do a Condemn. I need to auto-attack. Is it heroes? Yeah. I need to auto-attack 3 times on that hero to get 24 armor. Then I need to auto-attack these 4 minions to get my CDR of the W back and kill the minions and get the mana back. I don't know. Yeah, I think she's an offlaner. I don't love this, but she's now an offlane. She's not the tank anymore. This is slower clear than usual. Yeah, it's like a very weak version of Hanzo's insta auto attack kill. Ignore all distractions at level 4. 1, she's not 7 range like Hanzo. She's 1 or 1.5 or 2 or something. Maybe 1.5. She's melee and he's super ranged. 2, she attacks slower. Maybe not super slower when he doesn't have the level 1. Yeah, you can still hit enemies with a Condemn, but it removes the mark. So like, yeah, I guess Johanna is boring right now and she gets more fun with all this. It just feels like it's taking a bit away from effective tanking. Hold your ground, move from level 1. Shins exposed. Intentional slip up, by the way. New functionality. Heroes hit by punish receive 25% reduced healing for 2 seconds. Basic attacks against them refresh this duration. This I like. This is pretty nice. Sticking to someone to reduce their healing is a risk-reward consideration. Keep in mind that reduced healing sounds very good, but a quarter is not much. If someone is receiving 300 heal every 3 seconds, like from an Anduin, you're going to deny 75 every 3 seconds, which is 25 per second. That's like 25 bonus damage per auto attack. So you're incentivized to what? Hit them 6 times for a 25 bonus damage per auto attack. Reduced healing is especially good against huge heals or massive self-sustain like Diablo has, while he's also getting healed by a healer. 25 is not a lot, but you can harass a target with that and you're going to notice it if they rely a lot on healing. It's interesting. It definitely makes Johanna able to have more burst via this early game and not be totally reliant on her heroics. I think it's a clever talent. Conviction. Move from level 4. Bonus movement speed while condemn is charging has been reduced from 25 to just 20. It's now at level 7, so nerf. But it gets an additional functionality. You always have 10% bonus. Oh, that's big. Wow. Always plus 10, up to 30% while charging. I like that a lot. That's very strong. Johanna, new URL. Steed charge. Wait, Divine Steed URL. Steed charge. Increase Iron Skin duration by 1 second. Activate to instantly become mounted for 3 seconds. And damage dealt to Johanna during this time doesn't dismount her. Wow. What? But when you auto attack someone, it does, right? Imagine she's like from horseback, like slamming people, and she's going around. So, but I think it's more for mobility. Like damage taken doesn't, but you are still dismounting yourself when you press Z again, or when you attack anyone. I assume, yeah, abilities. Cheers, love. The cavalry is here. Okay, I think that's really funny. Johanna right now is not garbage, but she's not very good. Imagine getting chased by Cassia, Johanna, and Urel. Yeah. All right. Falling Sword does much less damage now. Enemies hit are no longer slowed. Which was what, like 80% slow for 0.35 seconds? It was something really weird. A very strange, odd amount. Let's see. Falling Sword. Yeah, 0.2 seconds stun. And then a 3 second slow. Oh, okay, it was a 0.2 second stun. And then a 50% 3 second slow. Yeah. No longer slow. Cast range decreased from 15 to 10, and while in the air, allies underneath Johanna gain unstoppable. What? What? She becomes the cleanse tanking queen. That is interesting. That is very weird because she barely has a model while in the air. Right? You're gonna fly over people and do like a soft sanct. It's pretty badass. She feels like an off-lane support, yeah. A little bit. I mean, she's not a support. Like, not even to the degree Zarya is. I think that's really interesting. It takes a little bit less emphasis on the healer's cleanse. And now this tank can cleanse it. Blessed Hammer. Hammer damage reduced. Yeah, it was way too much. That was crazy. Remember all the times you guys died to the Holy Hammer? I know I'm jumping the gun here. There's more to it. Yeah, crazy hammer OP. No question mark? Yeah, me too. I don't ever remember getting damaged by it. First of all, it's gonna miss you, and when it does hit you, it's nothing. Damaging enemies with basic abilities reduce Blessed Hammer's cooldown by 3 seconds. That's sick. You can blind and condemn a lot of people, especially with 2 blinds. Additional functionality. Passive. Every 3rd basic attack against enemy heroes releases a hammer. Ooh! Hammered in. Sick. Hammered in coming up. Hell yeah. It's gonna be like this. Not the teleporting. Where are the hammers? They're really small. Alright. Hammered in coming up. Next, level 16. Fanaticism removed. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be a new Johanna main for sure. Imposing presence active removed. New, shrinking vacuum. Sounds like a new household appliance. Enemies hit. Honey, have you vacuumed my clothing again? They're so small. Enemy heroes hit by condemn have their damage reduced by a quarter and are slowed by a quarter for 2 seconds. It's not really slowed by a quarter. 25%. Let's not be lazy and call it 25%. All right. That's pretty good. That's strong. Holy renewal. Enemy heroes hit by shield glare heal for 5% of Johanna's maximum health and reduce its cooldown by 1.5 seconds. Blind build. 2 seconds is short, yeah. True. Blessed momentum. Moved from level 7. New functionality. Basic attacks grant 10% attack speed for 4 seconds, up to 40%, and lower the cooldown of all basic abilities. Wow, Wow. Basic attacks against anything. Hammer, 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 hammer. Alright, hammer, 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 hammer. And what else? Hammer, armor, hammer, armor, hammer, armor. And? CDR, 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 CDR. And what else? Reduce healing, reduce healing, reduce healing. Interesting. Interesting. Healing, CDR of blinds, auto attacks, and all that jazz are condemned. Okay. Yeah, now everything makes more sense. Heaven's Fury. Cooldown reduction per Holy Bolt impact from 3 to 2. Holy Bolts can now also hit allies, healing them for 75. And the damage is also 75, I'm reading here. So you can either choose to heal or damage with it to equal degrees. And every bolt that impacts 2 second CDR instead of 3. Before you could bring the CDR to such a short time. Like, you could bring it like, yeah, heals on allies, also CDR. It's still a Holy Bolt impact, right? So when you Falling Sword over someone, there was like raining damage. And then you could do it again in like 10 seconds or something crazy. You can get CDR on allies. So you can actually, out of combat, just keep doing like tranquility every 10 seconds. She's gonna be mad in ARAM. Just don't take Divine Fortress. Take this one. She's gonna be so good in ARAM. Perma Falling Swords. It's been a while since we really dove deep into Johanna's talent tree and her incoming cosplay skin. What? I wonder... Wait. I thought human real-world people cosplay as characters. If Johanna, which is an in-game character, cosplays, does that mean she is going to be representing a real-world human? Maybe. Maybe she's gonna cosplay as me. A grubby cosplay, Jimmy Turks. Sick. I'll blonde my hair if that happens. Heroes Rework. Raynor. Basic attack. Damage decreased from 101 to 92. What? I'm sure there's more. Oh, by the way, I think this rework is very good. I love it. 9 out of 10. Yeah, just starting pretty heavy. Cooldown reduced for penetrating round from 10 to 9. Mana cost reduced and damage reduced. So this is basically a buff. Although it deals less damage, you can push people back more often and save yourself. And whatever changes they apply to the Q. Ace in the Hole is now a Q talent. New functionality. Give him some pepper, slows enemies hit by 10% for 2.5. That still exists. Penetrating round deals 25% more damage to enemy heroes that are stunned or slowed. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna have Raynors pushing away focus targets. Got it. Exterminator. Increase basic attack damage against minions, monsters, and mercs by 50%. This was existing. This is increased to 125 while Inspire is active. And I believe that is not actually different. Reading it, 50, 125. Right. So they call it new functionality, but really, it's old. Passive Inspire does not expire on friendly minions and mercs. The new functionality should have just been here. This is the exact same thing, by the way. So you go to minions and mercs, you give them a few inspiring words. You guys rock! Go for the core! And then you go away. And they'll always rock and go for the core. It's a permabuff minion. Promote is back. Y'all remember Promote? So this talent was the best, maybe, and now it's buffed. Does it work on catapults? You bet your Raynor's Raider it does work on catapults, yeah. Remember Promote when like Brightwing and I don't know who else, Brightwing and someone else, you could like give a minion 4 times as much health and double damage or something? It was a 2015 talent. You clicked a minion and it got double damage, quadruple health. If you did it on a footman, then it would like tank the crap out of everything. And this works on friendly minions and mercs. The old one was 125 proc on trait AA. The new one is Inspire active. Oh, that is different. Yeah. This is increased to 125 while Inspire is active. Wait, basic attacks. No. No, it's the same. It is actually the same. Okay. Debated. Moving. Veteran Marksman. So here's another one of those lone talents. This one is important to preface. Lone, increase the damage of Given Some Pepper by additional 60%. Every death reduces this bonus by 15%. Give him some pepper currently gives you 1% bonus damage on your trait every time you auto a hero. That's now 3/4. So if this was the only thing it said, it would be 25% worse than it is now. But in order to make this as good as what Ace in the Hole used to be, see, it was 1% now. Ace in the Hole is 10% damage on slowed. If you keep auto-attacking the same target, you needed to have 40% stacks, 40 auto-attacks, and then it would start to outperform Ace in the Hole. Except, this still slows for a bit, and this never would. Just purely damage-wise. People calculated you needed about 40 stacks. So if you're in a game and you're not at 40 yet, you would have been better off at every moment with Ace in the Hole by yourself. And that doesn't count when people are perma-slowed or perma-stunned, which will make Ace even better. So 40 stacks. Now, you would need more than that because you only get 3/4. So you need, 50 stacks? 52? I say 52? So you need more, but they straight up give you 60 of the original stacks immediately. And even more of this new stack. They give you straight up 80 stacks of this, which you will lose 20 stacks at a time. Lose 20 stacks at a time every death. So this is straight up better than what Ace and Veteran used to be. But dying is heavily punished, and that's the lone talent. It's a reverse convection. It's Raynor dog, they're gonna die. Maybe not. Maybe not. So, how good are these three talents? You get the slow, and you penetrating round more damage. I think this is trash. Exterminator. I think this is very good and consistent for Storm League, but I don't think it's very good. This part is not very good for competitive per se, though it is not bad either. And the fact that it's simply just straight up better makes this good everywhere. While keeping in mind that he does significantly less auto attack damage, even if he has a bit more penetrating rounds, which also deals less damage. Pros evaluate a hero's strength in a large part how much you do in the first few seconds of a fight. 1, 2, 3 seconds. How fast can you blow someone up? They don't really look at second 17 of a fight. That's very Storm League heavy. So this is a big nerf for pro play and for Storm Leaguers. And this is decent. And this is bad. This is still good while keeping in mind he has less basic auto attack damage. Which the later talents better make up for it. This is very good, but it's mitigated by damage and mitigated by the fact that he has less basic attack damage in general, which is very relevant. Moving on, Behemoth Armor is now a passive. Bonus health per hero hit by giving him some pepper, increase from 5 to 8. But what they don't say here is if you get to keep the 200 baseline that you were granted originally. Behemoth Armor actually performs quite well, statistically as well, because the 200 baseline helps, and the armor talent actually heals for less than you think. The fight or flight. It blocks less damage than you think. It's very easy to get Behemoth to the point where it does more. It looks like you still get the upfront health while getting more per hit. I will say this is so much better than the level 4 Q, which by the way I don't understand why they didn't touch it yet. Maybe later see something about that, but I don't think so. I think this is the best by far. Best by far. Heavy Slugs. New functionality. Penetrating rounds, slow amount and duration are increased by 75%. And I'm looking at it. Penetrating round does a 20% slow for 2 seconds. So you're going to get a 35% slow for 3.5 seconds. 35% for 3.5 seconds. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. That's a good slow. That's a good slow. Feel the Rush. Cooldown reduction bonus while Inspire is active is increased from 200 to 300%, and Adrenaline Rush's mana cost increased. Okay. Feel the Rush is like a nice, consistent, strong talent that gets you more of your cooldowns back. You can see how it is now. While Inspire is active, increase Adrenaline Rush's cooldown reduction. Yeah, so you get a lot of ease. Well, that makes Fight or Flight a little bit better. That you could have even more ease. Being able to cast Fight or Flight willy-nilly more often for 25 armor is decent. It's decent. Penetrating round, cooldown reduction, reduced from 1.5 to 1 second. This is a very, yeah, so that's what Unstable Compound does now. Increase the area of Give Him Some Pepper, enemy heroes hit grant mana, and do a 1 second CDR for Inspire and Penetrating Round. And now that's going to be a 1.5. Ah. Nice buff. Nerf. Wait. Cooldown reduction reduced from 1.5 to 1. Wait. Huh? It's already 1. The 1 second CD reduction reduces the cooldown of penetrating round and inspire by 1. Now instead of 1.5, it's going to be 1. Maybe they mean for this increased to 1.5. We'll assume that for now. Now it's more oneer. It's more oneer. Yeah, I think they mean to use an Uno reverse card here. Debilitating round is gone. New, line them up. Reduce the cooldown of penetrating round by 3 seconds. So from 9 to 6. If 2 or more enemy heroes are hit, reduce its cooldown by an additional 3 seconds. Not per hero hit. So from 9 to 6, from 6 to 3. Line them up. Giddy up. Base move speed bonus increase from 8 to 10. This is just them adapting him to the mobility creep and meta. Don't read Hogger notes. Grub feels. Uh-oh. Give me more. Move from 13. This is increase adrenaline rush healing by 50%. While Inspire is active, gain 1 basic auto attack range. Okay. Moved from 13 to 13. I was just mentally applauding them for not having made any typos yet. Or mistakes, as far as I could tell. I thought, well, they had long enough to write these. But with Raynor, it just derailed. It's okay. It's just a PTR note for now. Rallying Cry. Moved from level 13. Increases Inspire. Increases Inspire's attack speed bonus by 20%. Right. Inspire normally gives you 30% attack speed. So I think they mean it's now 50. I don't think they mean 20 of 30. Which would be 36% then. I think it's 30%. Okay. And then passive, cast Inspire for free after every 12 basic attacks. Against anything. Alright. Alright. It's like, oh, you check your watch. Oh, I'm coming up on my 12th auto attack soon. I'm gonna just scooch on over next to this catapult to give it a permanent Inspire. 12th attack. Alright, see you fellas. I'll see you at the core. I'm going through mid lane. It's high noon. Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay, okay. Weak spot acquired is gone. Execute is gone. Indomitable resolve is gone. And new stuff is coming up. Cavalry's arrived. Give him some pepper. Lowers the cooldown of Hyperion by 5 seconds if the primary target is a hero. Alright. No more unstoppable. These heroes are targeted by Hyperion for 100% increased damage. Battle cruiser operational.
All crews reporting. Receiving transmission.
Additional functionality. Banshee basic attacks lower enemy heroes by 2 for 1 second, stacking up to 25. Banshee basic attacks lower enemy heroes. 2 attacks and it's 5v1. Yes! This is Jimmy. Wow, that's great. I love this talent. Wait. Hold up here, man. Let me open Twitter. The world has to know about this. Banshee. Windows Shift S. No, I like my old method. I like the old way of doing things, mate. I've been taught that before, yes. I don't like Windows key stuff. What if I press Windows key F and I open like something weird? Like feedback panel from Windows. Using Banshee basic attacks to delete enemy heroes will prove very powerful, I think. Nice. We can't be sure how strong it'll be. Alright, but I think they mean armor? Reduce the enemy's hero armor by 2 for 1 second, stacking up to 25. I think it actually makes them shorter. Reduces lower the enemy hero's height. Okay, they're gonna be tiny. Raider's roll. Adrenaline rush grants unstoppable and continues healing for an additional 2 seconds. This additional... Wait, but that's weird. Healing gives you 20% of max health over 1 second. And if it's gonna increase the healing time for 2 seconds, then wouldn't that draw it out to like 7%, 7.6% per second? They didn't say you get the same healing per second. Max 70. So does that mean that you get 25, 25, 20? Or do you get 23.33 repeating times 3 over 3 seconds? I'm not sure. It's not clear from this. But okay, that's a lot of healing. You're unstoppable and you're healing up to 70% for 3 seconds. Oh no, it's 25, 25, 25, but it stops at 70. Okay, that's true. Yeah. Obviously, you don't start at -5. You can be at 50. But, so if you use it at 50, you only get 0.8 seconds of healing. No, it's the additional duration. Ah, okay. We're cool. No, we're cool. Only the additional effect. Otherwise, it could be like worse. No. This is just my reading comprehension here. Oh, overall, this is fine. Yeah, you can take damage during it. You can get the 25 guaranteed, and the next 25 and 25 for a total of 50%. Only works if you're still very low. Got it. You know, this makes fight or flight at 4 a lot better, because you now have the armor over a... you have armor and healing over a long period of time while also having unstoppable. Now, Sergeant Pepper. Give him some pepper activates every 3rd basic attack instead of every 4th. This is like Samuro's level 1 talent. He gets it at 20. I can't imagine you would ever take this. No, I can imagine it. It's bonus damage on a ranged assassin. But I can't imagine you would take this. It is bonus damage. But you're giving up unstoppable or pew pew pew? I can imagine it, but yeah, you can stack faster. Level 20 stacking from a level 1 talent. Let's go. Let's finally kick this rebellion into overdrive. Yeah, no, but it can be okay. It's good single target damage. I think I would sooner take this though. Or this. If I needed this or this. Execute orders. Reduce your death timer to 30 seconds. Upon death, cast Hyperion towards the nearest enemy hero. What the heck? Okay. They really want us to... Oh, wow. You will be playing Raynor wrong if you're not feeding on cooldown, running into keeps. This is crazy. No one is going to take Sergeant Pepper. All other three are way more fun. You either feed on cooldown, running down keeps, murky Raynoring, or you take control of your Hyperion-ish, or you kill 2 enemy heroes per Duskwing attack, or you become unstoppable. 5 options, by the way. This is sick. While Jimmy had a pretty large overhaul a while back, we definitely had some more room to make things more interesting and fun. We wanted to make sure that he was still pretty straightforward to play, but we also wanted to inject more fun into his talent tree, especially his level 20s. Hell yeah, brother. And I think this is the last rework, and then we're going to see the new map in the ranked pool, and the map that has been traded out for it. Heroes Rework, Stitches. Additional functionality. By the way, the rating for this, I suspect Raynor is a worse team fighter now, but a better lanor, lane minion. Which means he is slightly further away from being able to counter a Diablo like Tychus, but split push Raynor is now more common and better with this, for sure. He might be less good in pro play, but better on ladder. How do I value the rework? I think it makes him a bit more unique, so I'll give it a 7. Additional functionality. Upon reaching level 13, Hook's range is now always increased by 40%. So they're giving him the baseline fishing hook. Cass is going to be happy with that. And Stitches players, all 7 of them. Slam. Cooldown increased from 7 to 8. Inner area slow duration increased from 1.5 to 2 seconds. But it no longer deals additional damage to minions, mercs, and monsters. Yeah, they said they added this for a while to make him more unique until they came out with their rework of him. And it's here now, so they remove it again as promised. Vial Gas, straight passive. Enemy heroes hit by basic attacks or the inner area of slam are afflicted with Vial Gas, dealing 27 damage over 3 seconds. Deals 150% increased damage to minions, mercs, and monsters. So he can still wave clear quite well, but it is more tied into his physically being there, not slam and walk away, which is a pity because I liked doing that with Stitches. It was quite safe and easy wave clear. 2 slams, wave is gone. But you need to get in there. New active functionality, Shambling Horror. Activate to spread Vial Gas to nearby enemy heroes every second and prevent Stitches' movement speed from being reduced below 110% for 5 seconds. Yeah, we don't know the cooldown on this, but if we just take a sneak peek at the original Stitches Shambling Horror, we can see it had a cooldown of a minute. The best assumption we have now without going to the PTR is that it's still a minute. Patchwork Creation. Gain 3 armor for each enemy hero afflicted by Vial Gas. Doubled while Shambling Horror is active. This effect stacks up to 4 times. So it's doubled first, then it can be 8 times. So 8 times 3, 24 armor. Weird good. $24 armor. It's doubled first, then it stacks up to 8. Not. Well, I could see it be 48, I guess, yeah. Yeah, it has 8. increments, or 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. It has 9 increments, and it would have to account for the shambling horror conversion. Each enemy afflicted by vile gas, and not just heroes. Ah, okay. So you have 24, up to 24, and up to 48 armor during shambling horror. And also gain 15% increased healing received. This is a very strong overall talent. Big tank. Huge tank. Savor the flavor. Hitting a hero with Devour increases Stitch's health regeneration by 1.5 and the damage of Vile Gas by 2%. Stacking up to 100 times. 100. So he can do triple Vile Gas damage. I don't think I've ever had more than 30, but 100 Devours is pretty crazy, but at least they capped it, right? Just so you don't insta-destroy. An increase of 200%, so 300% Vile Gas total. And the regen can be 150 health per second. Bonus. ARAM. The most I ever had in ARAM says Bull Myoja was 61. Yeah, you'll never reach 100. And even 50 is extremely rare. Hungry for more. Passive. Gain 5% move speed. Gathering a regen globe increases Stitch's maximum health by 30, which is the same as the original. And then every 20 globes increases Stiches. You know, this is how Brazilians spell it in Spanish. I've seen this misspelling a lot by people on my team. The same people that call ETC Moshpit Pogo. Any Stiches players? Increases Stitches' movement speed by another 5%. It's 15 now. It's 15 globes is 5%. Now it's 20 globes is 5%, but they front load it. So they say it's new functionality, but it's almost exactly the same, except slightly slower scaling. 5 globes per, but they front load it. So, okay. But it's uncapped. It looks uncapped. Interesting. Playtime. Basic attacks reduce the cooldown of Slam by 3/4 seconds and restore 5 mana. Hitting heroes with the inner area of Slam reduces its cooldown by 1 second. Okay, for every hero you hit with the inner Slam CDR, and you can do even more basic attacks to do even more slams and restore mana. Alright, before playtime gave you more of other cooldown. Reduce the cooldown of Stitches' other abilities. You got more hooks and more devours. Now you get more slam, more slam, more slam. Okay. Tenderizer. Passive. Moved from level 4. They mean 7. Basic attacks against heroes slow by 25% for 2.5 seconds, which is the same as it was. And restore 2% of Stitches' max health. And that is now just straight up them combining both of his level 7 talents into one level 4 talent. That's a nice mashup. His level 7 talents were garbage, so interesting. But they removed the slam heal. There's a slam heal. Oh, yeah. That's true. Hitting heroes with the inner impact area of Slam Heal from Cannibalize heals Stitches as well. Yeah, Slam Heal's gone. Alright, fair enough. New talent. Vial Cleaver. Basic attacks against targets inflicted with vial gas deal 35% more damage and also spread vial gas to nearby enemies. Oh. Cannibalize gone. Serrated Edge moved from 4. Cooldown reduction bonus increased from 3 to 5. So you can get hook on an 11 second cooldown if you hit your hook. Hitting an enemy hero with hook also restores 35 mana. Weird good. But why not? It's a basic talent. 75 minus 35. It only costed 40. Yeah, that's fine. If you hit it, you get mana back. Second helping. Moved from 20 to Devour Charges. They've implemented a 6 second delay between using each. It used to be different. Enemy heroes hit by Devour reduce the cooldown of Stitches' heroic ability by 5. Now there's a 6 second separator for cooldowns while having those 2 charges. And there's a lone. If Stitches is at max health, max Heath Ledger, a Ledger alone, coincidence? I think not. If he's at max health after using Devour, he gains a shield equal to 15% of his maximum health for 10 seconds. That's a lot. It's a long shield, it's a big shield, and it's not too hard of a commitment. Though you are wasting part of the healing. So think of it as you're overeating. Normally, Devour gives you 20% restoration of his max health. You now get a 15% shield. So it is worth using Devour when you have 6% damage or more. Only at 4% damage are you only getting 19% value. And that's still very good to do, even though you're wasting 1 to 4% when you're full or nearly full. This is a very strong talent. It's very easy to get consistent value now. Easier. It just makes Devour have like no downside. However, every death reduces the shield amount by 3%. There's the downside. Yeah, this is a very, very, very strong talent. And I would say it's insanely better than Serrated Edge. But it depends how you're playing, right? If you're looking to be a pro hooker, then maybe you want this. But this, I think, is way more consistent in Storm League. Despite the deaths reducing it, you will always still have this, which helps you also with this. Savor the flavor. Okay. New Putrefaction. While Shambling Horror is active, Vile Gas reduces healing by 30%, which used to be 35, I think? No, 20%. It used to be 20% for 5 seconds. Now it's 30% while Shambling Horror is active. Vile Gas reduces by 30%. Passive Vile Gas also heals for 60% of the damage that it deals, and that used to be 33%. Big buff. This is strong. Fishing Hook, gone because it's baseline. Under Pressure with trait. W and trait. Increase slam damage by 25. And slam normally deals 104. So it's almost a quarter bonus. A quarter extra. Almost 25% extra. Every 6 times Vile Gas deals damage to a hero, permanently increase the damage of slam by 1 to a maximum of 75 additional damage, which would be 95% total bonus damage when and if you get it. So you need 6. You need 450 damage charges from vial gas on enemy heroes to get the full thing. Keeping in mind there's no back-ended quest reward. This is a cap, not a goal. Your goal is to get stacks. This is a cap, the end of your goal. Some people are like, oh, I need to get this 75. Yeah, to get it as quickly as possible, sure. But then the scaling stops and it's actually retro scaling, anti-scaling. But yeah, that's decent. That's pretty good. Late game quest, very late game. It's okay, I guess. Let's compare what it is competing with. It says chop chop, fishing hook is gone, which means it still has digestive juices. They didn't mention it, so it should still be there. Hitting an enemy hero with Devour reduces its cooldown by 5 seconds and causes the hero hit to deal reduced damage. This is very good still, especially with this new kit. Gas Flare might still be there, unless they later say it's moved somewhere else. Let's check it out. Move from 13. Oh, Gas Flare is now 16, but they don't say it came from 16. Okay, that's fine. So you still have that Devour talent. Oh, Digestive Juice is also here, but they didn't say it came from 13. Oh, I was looking at 16. My bad. Sorry. Here's the 13. My bad. Meat Hook is still here. Hitting an enemy hero with Hook heals Stitches for 20% of his max health. And autos refresh the healing. And the enemy's heroes hit are slowed. Those are still there. Then you get Chop Chop. Hitting a hero with Hook or activating Shambling Horror grants attack speed. Okay. Pulverize. When you slam people, they have their armor reduced by 10 for 4 seconds. And what it also did is 80% slow for 3/4 of a second. Digestive Juices also deals additional damage. This is very good. Gas Flare, renamed to Flare Up. Activating Shambling Horror also grants the 150% damage bonus, which Gas Flare has now. Hitting an enemy hero with Hook gives you bonus damage to nearby enemies. And now activating Shambling Horror does the same thing. 15 damage per second at level 16. So that's 30 at level 20. And then it can be 2.5. So that's 75. So let's say at level 20, you do 75 Burning Rage. Now you can activate Shambling Horror. Also at level 20, you'll have 75 Burning Rage. You get it either from a Hook or from the Shambling Horror, but it only lasts 4 seconds. How good is that? 75. By the time you take it, it's more like 65 or so. I think it's kind of meh. But did they say there was something else? Yeah, it's just damage for 4 seconds. I mean, it always works. Every second you have Burning Rage. But for 4 seconds, you've got 65 damage per second at level 16. And at other times, it's just 25. It's okay, it's wave clear. It's a decent amount of damage. I don't think it's fantastic. It's probably better with Putrid Bile than with Gorge, to be honest. If you're going Gorge, you're gonna want to go maybe Digestive Juices or Pulverize. But with Putrid Bile, I think Gas Flare adds a lot of extra damage together with Putrid Bile and Gas Flare. Okay, Potent Bow is gone. Shambling Horror, obviously, here is gone. New talents. Gift from the Embalmer. Oh. Putrid Bile deals 100% more damage to heroes. Each time Putrid Bile deals damage to an enemy hero, Stitches' next death timer is reduced by 2% to a maximum of 80%. Half of this bonus is lost on death. No. What? So let's say I'm having a good game and I'm biling people over and over again and I get an 80% reduction. The next time I die, instead of 65 seconds, I will be dead only for 13 seconds. A 52-second reduction. And then that 80% is brought to 40%. So the next time I die, I will have a death time of 39 seconds. No, yeah. So $13 and then 39 if I don't bio at all in the second life. And you can grow it again. So let's say our death time is always going to be between 20 to 35 seconds, probably. It can be better, it can be worse. And of course, if you're at core defending with bile, you're gonna come back quickly, but your bile won't be back yet, because bile has a cooldown of 75 seconds. But if you now go Stitches and Raynor and Cho'Gall and Leoric, or something like that, some combination of them, if you go Stitches, Raynor, and Leoric, which works in a normal draft, you've got 3 people that come back between 13 to 30 seconds. So it's like we're back to Resurgence of the Storm, which is going to make finishing games a bit tougher. Which I don't love, actually. It's going to be fun to play with it. Let's separate. It's fun to play with it. It's strong, it's interesting. People are going to love this. But I think in the long run, this is not going to be good talent design, because it will make it hard to finish games. They already added the core defense mechanics. Okay, that's my thoughts on that. Master Hooker. Q. Reduce the cooldown of Hook by 5 seconds. So 11. Enemy heroes hit by Hook receive 100% less healing for 2 seconds. So how much healing do they receive? Allied heroes hit by Hook are unkillable for 2 seconds. Death timers were added to Dota 2 for a bit as talents. And you're exactly right. It was very OP and they got rid of all death timers, reducing talents. Yeah. Yeah. And we had Resurgence of the Storm on like 10 heroes in Alpha. On Hammer and some others. Hammer and maybe Lily, I don't know. And it was not good. Arthas had it, I think. It was not good. You still see how like Diablo, Uther, Leoric can slow down games as well coming back. This is pretty cool. It's pretty sick. It's funny. I think this is funny. I don't see this being like completely unstoppable. Yeah, friendly hooks lower the cooldown already as well. Yeah, it's true. Helping Hand. 50% reduction. Alright, and then -5. So it's 8 and then 3. Can you hook every 3 seconds? Or is it 50% on 11 is 5.5? So either every 3 or 5.5 seconds, you can hook an ally and make them unkillable. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Gas bag. It sounds better than it is. Depends on your coordination. For Storm League, perhaps not fantastic, but... And they're unkillable. They still take damage and they are left at 1% HP, right? 1 HP. It's true, unkillable is not as good as protected. Not even close. Maybe it is better. Sounds better than it is. Activating Shambling Horror grants you unstoppable for 3 seconds. And reduce Shambling Horror's cooldown by 20 seconds. So it's going to be 40 seconds then. Our favorite large lad is back and hungrier than ever. We're giving our best beefy boy a new baseline ability called Shambling Horror that should help him saunter in and out of combat a bit more consistently. This ability, combined with a plethora of new and reworked talents, should make his immediate presence more dangerous. We've also decided to bake in the benefits of the old fishing hooks talent at level 13. This talent was simply too fun and effective to the point where it became impossible to design reasonable alternatives. We hope the totality of these changes will breathe new unlife into a hero that has fallen out of favor over the years. Nice. Overall, good. Good work, devs. Thank you. Interesting. Very fun. Oh, it was not the last rework. Valla, Mei, D.Va, Hogger, Vikings. There's balance changes coming too. Cool. Heroes rework Valla. Okay, Valla's garbage right now. Let's go. Basic attack damage decreased. Alright, that's the wrong direction for a buff. Multi-shot damage decreased. Excuse me, senpai, we're going the wrong way. Caltrops removed. No! Cry out. The countless platinum Valla stuck in Elo hell. Caltrops is the bomb. Moved from level 4, puncturing arrow. Excuse me, Blizzard, but it is at 4. Proof? Oh, yeah, now it's at 1. Cut, Jules. Cut. Too many mistakes in reading already. Alright. Puncturing arrow moved from level 4. New functionality. Increase the bounces of hungering arrow by 1 straight up. Okay. No longer hidden behind the quest. Hitting enemy heroes. The initial shot. Hitting enemy heroes the initial shot. Hitting enemy heroes, comma. No, hitting enemy heroes with the initial shot of hungering arrow permanently increases the initial shot damage by 6 and refunds 40 mana. No cap. No kappa. No kappa Kriegasm. So how much was it before? 5 damage per hit. And then after you got 20 times 5 damage, you had 100 and unlocked an additional 75, aka after 20 stacks, you had 35, and that was it. Now you immediately get the bonus bounce, and you can get more than 35 stacks. And every stack is 20% more effective, 6 damage. And it refunds mana, which is the Monster Hunter component from level 1. Permanent stack, interesting. You know, Valla's most interesting talent, I guess, is Hungering Arrow. So them nerfing this and making this better, I think it's fun. It makes her more of a demon hunter and less of a pepper general area with multi-shot as the only safe build, while auto attack is pure grief and gets you killed. Fire at will. Every enemy hero hit by multi-shot grants 2 hatred. Oh. I like that. Enemy heroes hit by multi-shot permanently increase its damage by 4. Uncapped. That's strong. Creed of the Hunter. Oh, this is for the Papegas. This is the feeder talent. There's always a feed talent on Valla. Chris Hero says that's a crazy talent. The Fire at Will. Yeah. But I mean, Cassia already has it too with Lightning Fury. Lightning Fury is pretty crazy. Lightning Fury, the talent that does 200-300 damage, but with some good stacking, you're doing 500-600 damage. You compare that kind of scaling to Artanis' auto attack scaling, and it's just a joke by comparison, Artanis. Cassia already doing it good, which is why she's actually so strong. How quickly this scales exactly, I'm not quite sure, but I think it's very good. It's easy to stack. Lone, gain 20% increased attack speed. straight up. And of course, the old creed of the hunter was 10%. Every death reduces this bonus by 5. Every 50 basic... By the way, note, no bonus health, okay? She's very untanky still. She has a tiny health pool. Every 50 basic attacks against enemy heroes, increase your damage per hatred stack by 1% up to 5. What? Every 50 basic attacks. Okay, 50 is a lot. The old quest needed 100, and there were many games where people wouldn't finish it. And when they did finish it, it gave you, just looking it up, 2% basic attack damage per stack. This is 1% per stack, so you still reach 2% at 100 attacks. But you can go on to 250 auto attacks instead of 100. So they raised the ceiling times 2.5. While doubling this, though potentially you could lose all of it. This is 100% a grief talent. Yeah, I know. Pepega sounds good to me. Pepega, I found my talent. I mean, there's great ways to get uncapped damage that doesn't get punished by dying. No, but like, it has a high performance ceiling. I think this is for the Pepegas and for the gods. But everyone in between shouldn't take it. And you scale faster than before. Grief of the Hunter. Grief of the Hunter. I love it. Creed of the Feeder. Can we call it that? Grief of the Pepega will be... That will be the official name. Alright. Repeating arrow. New functionality. Vault no longer has a mana cost. It reminds me of Falstad's free barrel roll. Remember Falstad had a talent. Barrel roll no mana. That's it. Vaulting instantly refreshes the cooldown of Hungering Arrow. Oh, nice. Nice. We have another Falstad in the Nexus. Q, E forward, Q. Die. Lose 5% attack, shake my SMH. Arsenal. Increase the range of multi... Oh, thank God that... Oh my God. They moved it from 16 to 4. Increase the range of multi-shot by 20%. It also launches 3 grenades that deal bonus damage. And they restore health, mana, when hitting enemy heroes. Death Dealer. Lower the cooldown of Vault by 5 from 10. Increase the damage bonus of Vault from 50 to 150%. If the target dies within 1.5 seconds, you refund the mana and you refresh the cooldown. This reminds me of Mei's icing. You get 5 off, and if you do something, you get even more off. It's just like icing through Blizzard level 4 talent. And let's remind myself the damage nerfs. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is whatever. You get this back so quickly with the quest if you're going for it. This matters. 5 damage less is like what, 7%? 6.5% damage less. You can get it back a bit here, or you can just focus on your spells. Monster Hunter move from 1, but no longer the mana cost reduction because that's already in the level 1. So this is where you're gonna race on Battlefield of Eternity. This is too late for the first Immortal. Almost always. Usually level 7 is reached when someone wins the Immortal. So it's for the second Immortal. Frost shots. Enemies hit by multi-shot are slowed by 25% for 2.5 seconds. And Hungry Arrow deals 25% more damage to slowed enemies. Damn. What? Dude, multi-shot build is so good now. You're multi-shotting people, you get hatred. You get your infinitely stacking quest. You already get the bonus range, which even makes you able to hit it on Hanzo without almost any counter. You get the grenades and mana cost reduction. And then you slow them for 20%, which is a bit. 2.5 is a lot, quite a bit. And then you Hungering Arrow them, that deals more damage. You can even combine Frost Shot with Puncturing Arrow and don't get Monster Hunter. Yeah, like I know it says QW here, but this really is the talent. Whether you're going Q quest at 1 or W quest at 1, you're going Frost Shot. And for the Pepegas, we've got Hot Pursuit here. Increased movement speed bonus per hatred stack. This is quite good. So instead of 10% baseline or the 20% that used to happen at 1, you now get 25% movement speed total, which is very respectable. But it's much better to get, well, much better. I think it's better to get Frost Shot, slowing them 20%. But it's easy to get this because you're getting the hatred from the level 4 multi-shot. No, the level 1 multi-shot. You only need 10. So if you hit 2 enemy heroes, you get 4% right away. So you're already at... well, actually, I'm not quite sure. 10% extra, and the baseline is what, 4%? 14%? Isn't there a baseline 1% per? Yeah. 1% per. So 14% if you hit 2 people with multi-shot. 14% move speed. It's an interesting talent. I doubt I'll ever be taking Monster Hunter again. While it's good, yeah, maybe on BOE. Maybe. But most likely this one. Note that the CD reduction is gone, so you can only W once every 12 seconds. Yeah, that's true. For now. That is important to notice. Good job on that. Before you could have like 9, 10, 11 seconds. This has now been renamed to Siphoning Arrows. Every hero hit by Hungering Arrow heals Valla for 4% of her maximum health. Okay, how was that? Checking. 75% of damage dealt. Oh, okay, so they made sure your infinite scaling Q damage doesn't affect the amount of healing you get. It's just straight up 4% of her max health, which is not a lot, by the way. Her max health is like 1 HP. How much does she have at level 1? Like 1400? Let's say if she has 1400, that's about 60% more at level 13. 4% of that is 90 health. 90 health for a Hungering Arrow hit. That's like an Abathur auto attack. Yeah. But every hero hit by multi-shot also heals Valla for 2% of her max health. So that's another 8%. With these, if she hits a few people, she can easily get 300 health. Yes. And it's only on heroes, not on minions. I know Hungering Arrow hits more than... Yeah, of course. It can hit 4 times. Now, we're making folly here. 90 health times 4 is 360. Multi-shot, let's say you hit 3 people, is another 6%. So that's 145. You can heal 500 health with a full combo at 13. Something like that. This is quick maths, 500 health, not bad. That's almost a quarter of her pool. Almost a quarter of her health pool. Tempered by Discipline. Basic attacks heal for 10% of damage dealt. And increase this by an additional 2%. So it's up to 30%. 30% lifesteal. More Griefer talents kick W. I mean, I'm not sure anymore. I'm kind of warming up to auto attacks. She can have 30% basic attack heals. Gloom. Heal for 2.5 health per second for each stack of hatred. Oh. So 2.5. Okay, let's calculate what this is at level 13. Scaling is about 60% more by level 13. So 2.5 times 1.6 is 4. And then for each stack of hatred. So it can be times 10. So you can heal 40 health per second at level 13 at full stacks. 40 health per second. Which it will only take, what, 7 seconds to be full life? Not 7. 3 health recovery talents. So they're trying to make it so that Valla isn't entirely tied into double support comps anymore. Two and a half does not scale. It always scales. Wait. Why wouldn't it scale? Things always scale. You just check the PTR. Why wouldn't it scale? Yeah, she still gets spell armor. It's additional functionality. Everything scales, guys. If it's not scaled, it's bugged. Then it might be bugged. Okay, you checked on PTR. If it's not scaling, it's bugged. There's nowhere where someone gets 2.5 healing or 4 damage and it doesn't scale. Like, it scales on Cassia too, but I seem to remember that it didn't used to scale on Cassia and it was a bug. Is 2.5 for level 1 or 13? Whenever you read any of this, damage and like, let's say... actually, there's no examples here, but whenever you read any of this, this is always the level 0 value or the level 1 value. And there's 4% scaling per level. So by level 10, it's like 50%, and by level 20, it's like 100% bonus. From what you read in these kind of tooltips. Punishment. New functionality. While at max hatred, multi-shots cooldown. While at max hatred, comma, multi-shots cooldown refreshes... Ah, there we go. So a 50% faster refresh on 12 seconds is how many seconds? Eight? Isn't it 8 or 9? I think it's 8. Everyone says 6, but it doesn't instantly cut. It doesn't instantly remove half of the cooldown. It doesn't say remove. While you're at max hatred, cooldown refreshes 50% faster. I think it's 8 or 9. Baseline is 12. After 9 seconds, you will have enjoyed 50% CDR. I think it's 8 actually, no? After 8 seconds, you've enjoyed 12 seconds of cooldown reduction. It's 8 or 9. 9 times 1.5 is 12. No, it isn't. 8 times 1.5 is 12. I think it's 8, but I'm not very good at maths. So let's move on. Okay, this makes multi-shot stacking quicker, but not too quickly because it's at 16. And it, of course, is making use of the damage you've built up until then. Additionally, the healing you're getting from it happens more often, as well as the range, the slow, the amplification of hungering arrow damage, and the grenades and the mana and stuff. Yeah. Okay, that's nice that there's a CDR talent. Seething Hatred. While at maximum hatred, all damage you deal is increased by 10%. All damage. Nice. So 10% bonus strafe damage. Death Siphon. Hitting an enemy hero with strafe increases its duration by 1/8 of a second. I don't know how many damage stacks strafe does, how many damage ticks. The way it reads is rapidly attack enemy heroes within range, no, enemies within 10 range for 60 damage per hit, prioritizing heroes over minions. Lasts 4 seconds, but it doesn't say how many ticks. Hitting enemy heroes with strafe increases its duration, okay? While strafing, also throw out piercing bolts that deal 34 damage and heal for 25% of their damage dealt. Okay. Okay. That's decent. You need 3 heroes for 100% uptime on strafe. Okay, heroes. 3 heroes. Interesting. You've tested it. 3 heroes for 100% uptime on strafe. Strafe tick rate 8 per second. Can hit the same target only once per 0.3125 seconds, making it possible to hit a single enemy only a maximum of 11 times. Alright, let's check it. 11 times 3, 33 times 0.125. Yeah, that checks out. That would give you a duration of 4 seconds. I think that checks out in my very quick People G noted. Storm of Vengeance. Basic attacks against enemy heroes reduce the cooldowns of Rain of Vengeance by 5 seconds. That's still the same, I think. Every stack of hatred grants 2% attack speed. When at max hatred, gain an additional 30. 10, 20, 30 is 50. The old was 40 straight up. No. The old was also 50. Wait, each stack of hatred also increases attack speed by 2. 10 stacks is 30. The old was also 50. And this is? It's the same thing. Oh. They just baked in 2 talents together. Storm of Vengeance and Rancor are now together. That's sick. 50% bonus attack speed with lots of Rain of Vengeance. Rancor and Storm. Rancor of Vengeance. Farflight Quiver. Gain 20% basic attack range, which before she was 5.5 and she got 7.7, 2.2 extra. So that's the same. They're just describing it differently. 20% is the same as 2.2. At max hatred, increase this by an additional 30? No. No. Wait. No. I read it wrong. Farflight Quiver was 40%. 2.2 is 40%. She's 5.5, goes to 7.7. It was 40. Now you get 20 instead of 40. At max, it's 50. So it's from 20 scaling to 50 instead of 40 all the time. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. So she doesn't get to start fights from a great safety. She starts it much less safely. And then she eventually gets a max range of 8.25 instead of 7.7. So it actually makes it worse. It goes from 6.6 to 8.25 instead of 7/7 all the time. But it's still good. And then Acrobat gained 2 additional charges of Vault. Vaulting drops. Yes, it's back. You know they're gonna take this. People that take Feed of the Pepega, they're gonna go for Acrobat. It's back. It's the Tychus treatment, run and gun, caltrops everywhere. I'm so fast you can't hit me, you're slowed while you're hitting yourself, and I am vaulting away all the time while death dealering, and yeah, cool. Interesting. Our resident demon hunter has one of the most diverse talent trees in the game. So our main goal with these changes were to inject some new cross synergies and brighten up the design of some of her blander talents. As with the other reworks, we are testing a new lone talent, so please send us your feedback on them. Very interesting. I like her a lot. She's a bland vanilla weak hero right now, and I think that's gonna be fun, though she is gonna be a low health assassin. Still, of course, right? With less range than Hanzo. Yeah, I can't predict how strong she's going to be. I suspect not actually super strong. But I might be wrong. I think she might potentially be weaker. But that's hard because she's not very good. Maybe she's better. She's broken, says chat. Yeah, you might be right. I usually have quite a solid feeling about these. I've just been absorbing a lot of information in these notes. And yeah, the W build I think is very good. Yeah, she might be quite strong. Infinite multi-shot damage, one-shot people at the end of the game. Yeah, sure. Sure, okay. Mei, let's hope for some solid nerfs here, even though I like her. Not too much nerf. Let's buff the other tanks. Not like I can really make a difference. Whatever we're reading here is already on paper. Yeah. Ice Storm, less periodic damage for every 3rd hit on enemy heroes. Less auto-attack healing. You get 1 second less CDR for the passive. The passive CDR on E. Ice Wall cooldown increased. This is good. This is good. Small nerfs for her most popular talents. I like it. I think it's good. She is still very strong. It would be nice to see buffs on other tanks, but keep in mind that the 2 worst tanks in the game, Johanna and Stitches, are getting buffs. And we still see many other tanks in CCO as well. She's still strong, which is nice for people that love to play her. I think this will not nerf her enough by competitive standards or by Storm League standards. Hopefully other tanks can get some love in this case. I don't want to say she needs more because it's not fun to always nerf everything all the time. Okay, D.Va. A little bit less health on the mech and regen. Less damage on close enemies. I think this is all fair. Less healing from the fusion cannons. More healing from the fountain duration. A rushdown does not so much skeleton damage anymore on infernal shrines or minions. Aggression matrix is doing more enemy healing reduction. That's nice. I like flashlight build. Fusion generator cannon bonus. When you have full energy, you're now doing more auto attack damage. Micro missiles doesn't slow as much. I think that's fair. It's very safe, free mana, low cooldown poke. Target locked duration required reduced from 125 to 1 second. Okay. This is to slow them or something? And then reduce their armor. Stop and pop. Bunny hop duration is also increased by 4 seconds. Ooh, that's good. So whenever you're not moving, the cooldown wasn't burning. D.Va has a cooldown. D.Va has a duration on bunny hop for 4 seconds. And stop and pop made it so that it doesn't decay while you're stationary. That means you could move for a maximum duration of 3.5 seconds. And then you had to stay. And while staying, you could pop forever. But now you have an 8-second time to play with. That is pretty crazy. But yeah, this hurts her double soak a bit. Less healing, less damage, and a bit less health. And this, they're really addressing her double soak. Which leaves which double soaker still intact? Leoric, Zul, Urel, Sonya. Wait, where are the Sonya nerfs? Oh, good. Okay. Hogger. Hogger should be nerfed too. Radius of Hog Wild reduced by like a tiny margin. Damage increased? Oh. No rage damage has been increased by a lot. Oh, what? 28% or so? How much percent is that? Yeah, about 27.3%, I think. But the damage bonus per point of rage is reduced from 1% to 0.5%. Changed functionality. Damage bonus from rage now only applies to heroic targets. No! No. No more 5-second camp. Oh, that was the best part. It's fair. I think it's fair. But how much damage are you doing on heroes? You can have 100 rage. You're doing 50% bonus damage. So you're doing 66 damage on heroes. And in the old one, you're doing 64. So you're doing 3% more damage on the heroes at max rage. So you're doing 3% more damage at max rage. And then at half rage, you're doing way more. And at no rage, you're doing way more. So it's between, as far as I can do with my quick maths, Hogwild does 27.8 to 3% more damage on the full spectrum of rage. On the prowl, healing per second reduced from 9 to 8 seconds. Sorry, healing per second reduced from 9 to 8. Okay, nerf, but it's still good. Brute Force QD. The range is now 20% instead of 15. This is a weak talent, so let's see some buffs. The maximum damage for your auto attacks is now up to 150 instead of 125. And increase loot hordes damage by 50% as well. It does like 120 damage in the mid game. So it's not a lot, but okay, fine. Radius bonus decreased from 25% bonus radius to 20%. Okay, acceptable. Also makes the other talents a bit more pickable, like Hogger, Jogger, Brute Force. Okay. Pummel, spell power reduction duration reduced from 3 to 2, so you need to reapply it more often. Better spins are rewarded here. I think that's fair. This talent is busted as hell. No control, duration decay rate increased. So if you can't find targets, it decays quicker. Actually, I don't find no control that strong in many cases, actually. It tends to feed a lot. Or I feed with it. Auto attacks are a little better here. This is a small change. Negligible. Negligible. Tangible, but negligible. Negligible. More damage on heroes. Less on mercs. Damage bonus from rage. Yeah. And the radius. Yeah, okay. It's all decent nerfs. Nothing really game breaking. Dynamite build is pretty much better because it has less rage usually to play with. I'd say Dynamite build is better than before. Pretty much. Yeah. Spin build for mercs is nerfed. Spin build for heroes is a bit nerfed, mostly because of this and this. These are the biggest nerfs. Auto attack and Q build are theoretically buffed. So Hogger's in a fine spot. He had a lot of valid talents. I'd say Hogger is one of the few heroes I know that can be played in 5 different ways, 5 different builds. And one of those is most hit, the spin merc build. But the other 4 are still fine. So I am still going to play him a lot. The PvC efficacy that Hogwild offers keeps him above many other bruisers. And increasing the baseline, refocusing the bonus to rage towards PvP will only help. Yeah, you're not going to be able to solo a boss, but you already kind of couldn't. This is for the PTR, it's not live yet. Sonya, Furious Blow. Damage bonus reduced from 50 to 40 on every 4th free slam. Okay, good nerf. Shattered Ground, changed. Okay, this was crazy. Increase seismic slams splash damage by 250%. What? No, wait, let me read. Before I freak out and burn down the house. Increase its splash damage to 125 of base. This increases the original splash, not of the base. And Antandir said he just calculated it. It's 62.5% of base. I don't know why they changed it, the phrasing. Because before they made it clear. Here's your base, and now it's 125. So you're doing 25% more than your base. Now you have to do double maths. 250% of the reduced original slam reduction. Where does it leave it? Well, apparently at 62.5 of base. Thank you, Antandir. I believe you. Targeting a hero with Seismic Slam further increases its splash damage by 250. While targeting other enemies instead increases the length of Seismic Slam splash. Okay, so 500% bonus damage would leave it at 125. Oh, okay. Okay. So if you hit a hero with Seismic Slam, you have the original bonus slam splash damage, which is 125 of the base slam. You still following it? Okay. Old Slam. 100 damage on main target, 125 on the secondary target. Over a large trajectory. 100, 125. Large trajectory. New Slam. 100 on the main target. 62.5 on the next target. Over a large trajectory. If you hit it on a minion. 62.5. The original length. So half damage from the current version. But if you hit a hero, it's still 100, 125, but over a short trajectory. So you lose either half of its damage if you hit a minion, or you lose the bonus range that you used to get if you hit a hero. Sonya has 5 apples. 2 of them are rotten. No, it's clear now. It's clear now. I think phrasing could have been better, but I think this is nice. They basically split its bonuses. You either get one or the other. So you cannot keep hitting walls and minions to do the same thing as you used to do. Giant Slammer. Healing reduced from damage from 100 to 60. Okay. We're trying something a little different with Shattered by separating its existing benefits based on its target. We hope this change is more interesting than simply numerically reducing. It is. I have a rare non-sarcastic well done to Blizzard devs. It's It's actually, it's clever and it's good, I think. It's well done. They didn't just hit it with the bonk bat. The Lost Vikings. Health reduced. Health reduced, health reduced. And basic attack damage reduced, reduced, reduced. Good. Get the frack out of here. Go back to classic. It's a sabotage. Damage over time duration reduced from 5 to 3 seconds, but more damage. Oh, but this is on buildings. Whatever. Norse Force. Base shield from 130 to 140. Additional shield for alive Vikings is even more extra. Big buffs. Longbow raid, more damage. That's fine. This is the less toxic talent because it is not the macro oppression. Impatience is a virtue. Cooldown reduction increased. This is my favorite, but it competes with the most picked talent, which is large and in charge. The 1 second Olaf stun. This is the toxic talent, the macro oppression. The marathon, no longer decay, so you're all super fast for a while. And Ragnar Rock and Roll reduced the cooldown of longbow raid by 30 seconds as well. Okay, so what does this mean? They're slightly easier to snipe and gank in lanes. They want you to pick this talent if you want to deal damage with it. No one picks this talent, by the way. I doubt they will. Spin to win is a big teamfight burst. Before they tried to buff their teamfight, but they realized it's too much burst. You can just blow up a mouth one shot. So a little bit less... actually, they didn't nerf spin to win at all. They're just focusing on Norse Force. What I'm saying is irrelevant. Macro talent buff, teamfight talent buff, macro talent buff, but actually it's not really macro talent because spin to win is, it's just keep them alive, I guess. Macro talent buff, but you're probably not taking it. And teamfight talent buff, while overall general nerfs. I don't think they changed a lot, to be honest. It's buffs to lesser used talents. Like, no one plays these normally, any of these. And there's like a Viking in chat, he's like, I use Norse Force. Well, you're bad. Spin to win is better. Norse Force is a crutch for not being able to keep them alive. And this is interesting. We may see them a little bit more. Wait, this is a nerf? No, because if you keep attacking, then you do more damage. I agree, but still blue shocked face. No, I know, but I'm bad too, it's okay. Viking players have adapted wonderfully. We're halving the impact of that buff while assisting a few weaker talents, okay? Now you will face the Norse Force. Lucio nerfs, please. Party mix. New functionality. The least picked and lowest win rate, by the way. Play crossfade tracks to nearby allies. Every minute played increases Lucio's maximum mana by 2%. And then the range. Okay. So that is a buff, but it is the least used, so it's okay. As long as they nerf him in other places. Cast range increased by 100%. That's a buff. I'm starting to feel worried, but I'm keeping my professionalism. Health increased from 350 to 600, and allies affected by boombox gain 5 armor. I'm getting more and more worried, but I am not going to have another meltdown on stream like I had during the Reforged reading. High 5, self-heal reduced from 125 to 80. That is significant, but it still gives him unstoppable and an ally on a really short cooldown. I'm still very worried and not at all mollified by this little mini nerf. Slip, armor reduced from 20 to 15. That is certainly interesting. A nice little mini nerf on the highest performing talent, Slip. That gives 20 armor when he's wall riding. It's now only 15. It's still a lot. Still worried. Still not at all mollified. Up to 11 is not the most win rate talent at 16. They are buffing it. Increase the duration of Amp It Up by 1 second. While Amp It Up is active, enemy heroes hit with Soundwave or push off. Increase its duration by an additional 0.3 seconds. And the old one was increase duration of Amp It Up by 1 second. So this is a buff, but it is the lesser used talent and lower win rate, so that's okay, I can live with that. Mixing Fire is stupidly OP, and it does get a fairly big nerf. It deals less damage and only a a reduction of 30% of healing instead of 50%, and the cost as well. But it's still a 10-second cooldown for Unstoppable on all the allies. So, I don't think this is doing enough. I don't think it's doing enough. We've yet to get players to play their boomboxes, but we'll keep trying. Yeah, this is pretty good. This is pretty good, man. It is such a good scout. I think that Lucio is buffed, not nerfed. They did nerf 1, 2, 3 highest win rate talents. High five, slip, and mixing fire. This one was already good. Scout wards are very strong. People may still not take this, so let's ignore it. So it's a buff to something that's very pickable. Nerf, 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 and let's ignore this. So overall, yes, they nerfed 3 meta talents. They buffed 1 that could or should be meta, while 2 irrelevant things. They didn't really touch this where it matters. This does matter, but if you're thinking of level 1 to 13 Lucio oppression, very little changes. So I think he's under nerfed, and I am disappointed. But I'm not going to shout, because I'm an adult. Uther, Devotion. Uther's basic abilities grant 25 armor to allied heroes and 15 to Uther only for 2 seconds. Oh. It's no longer 25 to everyone. Uther gets less. They want to kill Uther main tank. Right now it is 2 seconds, 25 armor for everyone. They want to remove Uther main tank a bit. Self-healing bonus from this is now increased 125 instead of 100, and the self-healing bonus at low health is increased from 200 to 250. Becomes a bit more tanky again. At 16. Tears Deliverance maxed. Wait, isn't this already good? You get up to 40%. You can do 4 auto attacks. You get 40% bonus healing on your W, and you get 40% bonus damage on your W. And I know everyone goes Benediction, and I know that pro play is not like Storm League, right? They're not the same. But if we look at the win rates right now for Uther and Lucio, who are in Master and Diamond over 4 patches, as determined by Hero's profile, we see that Lucio at rank 5 definitely needed more nerfs, and Uther at rank 7 definitely needed more nerfs. If we look at the way that his 16 talents are performing, we see that, yeah, Benediction is good, it gets picked a lot more, but Tears Deliverance is still a 61% win rate talent. And they decided that Uther, of all heroes, needs buffs to these 2 to bring it in line with what? Benediction. Tears Deliverance can now do 70% bonus healing and 70% bonus damage, and Beacon of Light is going to be better as well. Maybe they have different numbers. Maybe. This is of course a nerf that is significant, but this is strong. This is strong. They said they fixed the bug on that talent. Oh really? Maybe later on in the bug fixes, huh? Okay. Maybe that's why it's performing higher. Let's skip to the bugs. Tears Deliverance no longer increases Uther's Holy Light self-healing. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's why it was performing better than it was. So that might be fake stats. Okay. Well, we'll reserve judgment on that for now then. I don't really like using Benediction, so I like this. I will try it out. Sets Devotion armor for both allied heroes and Uther himself to 50. So this is where Uther can finally be 50 again. We don't dislike Uther on the front line, but he's doing it a bit too freely. Okay. Overall decent, I do think. Yeah, I think overall decent. Reserve judgment, get it? Scott Marks? Nice. Yeah, small nerfs. Very, very small nerfs. But not insignificant. Okay. Azmodan. Globe of Annihilation. Level scaling increase from 2.5 to 4%. So, this was one of those hidden low scaling, huh? Like everyone in the Nexus scales at 4% almost anything. And for Azmodan, they made it baseline low apparently. Like I couldn't have said that exactly, to be honest. But the scaling was hidden lower. That's why you needed to work for it all the time. Greed now gives 15% bonus PvE damage instead of 20. Annihilation earned from hero hits is now 3 to 4. Oh! Gluttony, isn't that Cassandra's talent? Oops, I searched for Azmodan. Found Cassia. Gluttony is Cassandra's talent, okay. 4 stacks per hero hit instead of 2 baseline, or 3, which was the patch, which was the original. Master of Destruction E, Annihilation earned from hero hits reduced from 4 to 2. Demonic Invasion, oh perfect. This is like the one balanced suggestion I gave in the last 6 months, because I wasn't sure if we're still getting one. But I was like, yeah, if you want to fix Demonic Invasion, you gotta half the duration. Half the cast range, because he can do so out of the Fog of War on a keep or fort. Great that they had the same idea on this. You can still cast it, it's still effective, but you're a bit more at risk. And the grunts do a little bit less damage. Okay, I think that's good. So, overall, buff to Azmodan, buff to Azmodan. Azmodan don't take, Azmodan don't like, Azmodan don't like. Hell Rift. Demonic warrior damage bonus reduced. Nerf to Suicide Asmo. Azmodan don't care. Siege Breaker, less damage. Azmodan don't care. Oh! Cass, are you there?
I'm here.
3 buffs to your Azmodan play.
Cool.
See you in PTR. Going back to it. What?
When is that?
Soon, I guess. I didn't see.
Okay.
See you soon.
See you.
Nice. Approved by Cass. Yeah, PTR is up now. Cool. Next week? Okay. 17th? Azmodan's PvE-centric talents are proving a little stronger, so we're shaving off a little power across the board and greatly reducing the cast range of Demonic Invasion. We're also normalizing Globe of Annihilation's level scaling, since his Q builds are underperforming at most levels of play. Falstad, Lightning Rod. Lightning Rod verifies its targets is in range more frequently from every second to... Ah, dude, this was pissing me off so bad. Like, you could go out of the circle, but if the damage tick didn't happen, you could go in the circle and it continues again. I'm glad that they quadrupled the polling rate of checking whether you're in range. Oh, that was so annoying. Okay. Lightning Rod now also uses a custom range indicator. Okay, so no more dotted lines, I suppose. Gathering Storm. Hammering damage bonus per stack. Hey, finally! They got their heads out of their notebooks and finally made this almost good. Q build meta kek weight. Double damage pog. Yeah, I mean, this is good for ARAM. It was so bad. It was so bad I cannot even judge if it's good now. I think it's better. But still, playing Falstad, a global, without your intent to globalize, which is side soak and not freaking PvP spamming all the time, is still grief. But okay, let's say you're Falstad and then people randomly drafted 2 solo laners anyway, and suddenly you're ranged hyper carry by yourself. Alright, fine. Gathering Storm. Dishonorable Discharge. Lightning Rod cooldown reduction reduced from 3 to 2. The damage bonus per stack decreased from 1 to 0.75. Max damage is still 75. Takedowns for setting Lightning Rod's cooldown now gained on quest completion. What? So you need 100 stacks and then you get resets? It's trash now. It's 100% trash. You'll never ever complete this. Never. The only thing they needed to do was do something about W resets. This didn't matter. This didn't matter either. It was the fact that it reset when someone died, which always happens in Storm League. Someone will die, and even the newbiest Falstads will cast W on the next person, and the next, and the next. It was like Li Ming, but unskillful Li Ming. All they had to do was keep it as it is, roughly, because it's not actually that broken. Keep it as it is. But when someone dies, minus 5 seconds on the cooldown, or minus 4, instead of insta reset. It's all they needed to do, and it would have been fine. Because W Falstads int a lot, it was so funny. The only thing that carried them so hard was the instant reset of W. Alright, damage bonus increased from 20 to 25% per stack. Thunderstrike's damage bonus no longer affects other lightning rod bonuses. Right, because you could actually reset this with the reset from takedowns, which you now will never get, never ever get. And then you would carry on with the max damage when you cast a new W, and that was a bug as well. Falstad's last changes have certainly shocked the Nexus, unfortunately in part due to some regrettable bugs. With some tuning to keep him grounded, electricity grounding, and the new coats of paint, Falstad is ready for his next flight. So basically this is a baseline small nerf to W even for AA Falstads. Nothing else affected AA Falstad. AA Falstad is already very good. It should already be the best, but because of how Pepega this was, it could perform better. AA Falstad is unnerved. Now you will truly see how busted AA Falstad is. People haven't been taking it because W was such an easy, unskillful alternative. You're not going to see as many Falstads, but the ones you see are going to be very good. They're going to be doing a lot of damage on auto attacks, and they're going to be playing the game right again by globalizing. Maybe you take this sometimes. Actually, the spell armor reduction at 7 with Gathering Storm, stacking this and then doing Hinterland's Blast. I think there's going to be a few people that can play that quite well. Now you have an option of not being a global soaker. Fine. I think they hit this with a brick, with a bulldozer. You can just forget about W build now, it sucks. Junkrat, frag launcher. Damage increased from 118 to 125. Okay. Extra wound timers. The final one. You know, the thing that really surprises me about Junkrat, to me, extra wound timer looks like absolute junk. No pun intended. But when you look at the Masters and Diamond win rate, this is Masters and Diamond win rate. It is actually not the worst, which is bizarre. The final grenade deals 80% bonus damage, and frag launcher grenades last an additional 2 seconds before automatically detonating. It seems so awful to me, but statistically, at Masters it is the worst. But the lower you go, Diamond Platinum, it's the best. So only Masters are playing it the worst. For everyone else, it's actually good. That's funny. It's low popularity, I know. It's very low stats, but still, it's all we got, since Blizzard doesn't release stats. For the rest, you are very welcome to use your... you're very welcome to use your own common sense. You don't only have to be a stats junkie. It's just a little bit extra. So they buffed this big time. It may make it valid. Big ass. Additional functionality. Steel Trap now only hits heroes. It's a bigger radius, 50%, isn't it? And now you can no longer bait them into minions. That's weird. So you can put it under a minion and it just stays. 50% bonus radius and damage. Enemy heroes who are hit also have their armor reduced. Strange to not be able to have such a big circumvention on it, but interesting. It competes with Silence and Trigger Mayhem and Bog Down. It's worth a try. Rocket Ride, more damage. It's been a minute since we've seen Junkrat blow up some stuff. Go get at it. Interesting. Rocket Ride damage increased from 0 to 0. Yeah. Since you're not going to hit it, right? Channel duration for Shock Ray, quicker. Okay. It was indeed a bit slow. It's still slow though, but it helps. Induction, the lowest win rate by far, by the way. Tassadar gains 10% increased movement speed. Casting Shock Ray increases this to 30%. This is pretty good. This is pretty darn good. 10% bonus move speed, like all the time. During Archon, during any time. Of course, full auto attack damage means he's not moving. Normally. So movement speed. But it's still good. Come on. Casting Shock Ray, mount speed for 3. And just to compare it with the current iteration of it. Currently it's casting Shock Ray gives 20% for 3 seconds. If you hit a hero, it's 30. You no longer need to hit a hero. And you have 10 baseline. Huge buff. And it makes sense because it's performing like at least 10% worse than the others. Beam alignment. Mana cost reduced from 10 to 15. Mana cost reduction. Increased. Sorry, I just read it completely wrong. Mana cost reduction increased from 10 to 15. Okay. More mana left over after casting. While Resonance Beam is fully charged, Shock Ray's slow duration is increased to 4 seconds. Wait, Shock Ray has slow? 30% slow by 2 seconds. Okay. While fully charged, you do a 4-second slow instead of a 2-second slow. Shadow Walk, more armor. The reduction in channel duration doesn't change how quickly the beam begins to travel, and instead just allows Tassadar to act sooner. What? So he casts it, and then he can walk away for 0.10 of a second, and then it starts firing. Yeah, I guess they didn't want to make a root thing mess with people's ability to react or something. I'm not 100% sure. The beam starts during the channel. Yeah. Yeah. Added Warhead Junction to ranked play, removed Volskaya. That's a pity, I love Volskaya. Why don't they remove that piece of crap Hanamura? Volskaya's fun. This is like favorite map for stackers. I'm okay with Warhead being added. It's a pretty crap map, but hey, nukes. This is so imbalanced, this map. Holy crap. But why not just remove Hanamura? It's a really trash map. Warhead is so imbalanced. It's so imbalanced. But at least there's comeback potential. Hanamura has no comeback potential. It's so boring and dreadful. I see Hanamura, I feel like drinking cold tea. Actually, cold tea is nice. I'm okay with this, but I wish... Can you guys please change? Just remove Hanamura, keep Volskaya. Just... Please. All right, bug fixes. Crowd surf. By the way, this is under bug fixes. It was a bug that Volskaya was in the pool, by the way. Anyway. ETC. Crowd surfer no longer causes spells queued after power slide to be cast without an animation. Oh. Okay. You could queue W and they don't see the W? I didn't know that. Casting Mission Charge and Mission Focus at the same time will no longer occasionally cancel the ability. Huh. And this. Okay. And that's it. Ladies and gents, a huge patch notes, PTR. And it's going to be available for playtesting until May 17th. Which means we may have ourselves a new patch on Monday already. Monday or Tuesday. Don't forget to subscribe if you made it to this part of the YouTube video. Have a great day.